Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. So, what do you think of my little leprechaun look here? Um, it's Hope brought this box over yesterday that had some St. Patrick's Day props in it, and this is one of the things that we've had for several years, and I think it's my favorite. We have some headbands and beads and stuff, but I really like the hat and the beard. I think it's a good look. I mean, what do y'all think? I'll take it off in a minute, but I thought I'd give a chance for some of y'all to find me and experience all that this is, because it's loads of fun, right? Yeah. So we made St. Patrick's Day cards last week. So that's not what we're doing this week. But this week is the week of St. Patrick's Day. So I pulled out my St. Patrick's Day shirt and this hat, and we're actually going to make the some Easter cards today. We're going to use the Rejoice in Him stamp set and make some really pretty cards. Um, my church card ministry has been making these cards. Our goal is to have enough to send to every family in the parish. So we have one more time that we'll get together. We're not a big church, so I think we'll be able to make that pretty easily. So I don't see anybody hopping on just yet, but so I gotta take this thing off though. So I guess you'll catch it on the replay if you didn't see it now. Okay, so now that my hair is all messed up, I'm just gonna go ahead and switch the camera down and show you what we have today for this week's class to go. Okay, so these are the three cards that we're going to make today. And oh my gosh, I can't believe I was so prepared. But where's the stamp set? Okay, here it is. So here is the stamp set that we are using. I really like this font. It's kind of handwritten, and it even has some breaks in it so that it looks it's not perfectly filled in, and it just seems much more personal in this set. So I did not choose to color any of my images of Christ. I've seen lots of samples where they did color him, but my personal preference was just to have him um, just as he is, so just as he's drawn. So, so these are the three cards, pretty colorful here, right? We've got soft sea foam, no, yes, soft sea foam, soft succulent. Do we have soft in both of those? Am I saying that right? Okay, now I have to look. Okay, where do we find our colors? We find our colors here. Yes, soft, succulent, and soft seafoam. Okay, that just didn't sound right when I said that. So, all right, and then we have Pool Party here on the end with the By the Bay Designer Series paper. So this is a really fun technique, a way to use your Designer Series paper, show lots of patterns, and so this would be a great template to remember to use as well. So, as always, you have an opportunity to receive a kit free when you place an order in my online store between today and Friday. So, what does that kit look like? Oh, I just threw away something that I did not mean to throw away. Um, well, I did. So, there's a cover that goes with every kit that shows you a picture of the finished cards and a has the link written out to the tutorial and even a shopping list. And can y'all hear me rifling through the trash over here? Because I know I saved one just for this purpose. Okay, well, I'm going to give up. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here's one I can show you though. Okay, so this is what a kit looks like going in the mail, right? So it has a little thank you note. It has the class to go, the date, the name of it, a photo of the finished cards, and then down here at the bottom, it has this is the link to the tutorial. This is a link to the class to go. So as long as you keep this together, and then it has all the goodies inside. So that's what gets mailed out. So what are the contents of each card? So for the soft seafoam card, you've got your seam binding ribbon, your label's already punched, your deckled rectangle is cut, you've got 2 card bases and 2 envelopes. For the soft succulent, you have, there's 2 envelopes, 2 card bases. You have 2 pieces of white for the inside. You have 2 soft succulent layers, 2 designer series paper layers. You have, this is already die cut for you, and your ribbon, the purple is already punched for you. So you get to stamp and assemble. And then for the pool party, you have ribbon, you have all the little squares. So you have 12 little squares to work with, and you have 4 white layers, 2 for inside and 2 for outside, and then of course your ribbon. So that is what the kit looks like. Did you happen to notice that I shared the samples for the March classes for Card Club and for the birthday series? So got those out. Let me just show you real fast what they are in case you didn't see them. So we're using Beautiful Thistle in the Card Club this month. And if you subscribe by the 20th of the month, you will get this month's kit. And so here are the 4 cards. So we have this one in Night of Navy, and we have this one using Soft Succulent. I colored this one with blends. Of course, you can color with whatever medium you choose. This one created a background that you can kind of see, a real subtle background. And I colored this with the same blends in the class itself. The next sample I may show a little differently. This one, this is actually a case from Linda Cullen, and this, so I've got some images that are stamped here in the craft white ink, and then this is colored with watercolor pencils. So I showed a little bit of a different technique, and then you could add a white liner. This is certainly light enough that you could that a white liner isn't needed, but you could add a little one if you wanted. My instructions on the back so that I can get those tutorials written, or that tutorial written. And I'm kind of packing it up because tomorrow I am headed out of town. I am taking some friends to a retreat, and so I'll be working on some of these there. All right, these are the birthday cards that we'll be making featuring the Queen Bee bundle. Now, right now, this bundle is not available for order, but it should be back in stock and available on the week of the 20th, so next week. These are designed by Ange McKay in Canada, and this little corner actually slides under there. Isn't that pretty? See, I can talk about it like that because it's not one that I designed. But all 4 of these are designed by Ange McKay. I added this white layer so that you'd have a place to write your message. Lots of gold foil and quite a bit of background stamping with like this is it's a really small stamp stamped all around and on the label itself and inside. And then this one, I skipped the sentiment here thinking that we would write happy birthday. We'd have a happy birthday stamp on the inside. Okay, so that's those 2 classes. Oh, and that's the wrong bag. Sorry, trying to keep everything straight. So that's down there. Okay, let's get busy with today's cards. So we'll start with this soft succulent one first. I want to point out this die if you've not used this before. These are the Something Fancy dies. And you know what? I've forgotten if they are in which catalog they're in. Let's just look at the menu real fast. Rejoice in Him is in the mini catalog that goes through next month. Um, yes, so Something Fancy. They're on page 17 of this catalog, and they coordinate. They're part of the Fancy Flora suite. So it has the two bundles and the gorgeous paper. Oh, it has and the shimmer paper that we're going to use today too. But so these dies have um, these two tags, two different size tags, and then three of these little holes that you can cut, so to speak. And you just pop them in like this, but they don't stick, right? So you end up running this through twice, once to cut the outline and then once to cut the detail. Or you can do what I did here, and I taped my detail die to the outline die. You can do this with press and seal or tape, either one. Press and seal is probably safer from not getting not tearing your paper, but what I had on hand was tape, and so that's what I used, and that allowed me just to run through one time. This is a red rubber stamp, which means I can't see through the stamp for positioning. So what do we do in that case? You remember we stamp it one time, at least once, on the grid paper to see how it lines up. So it's just a gentle tap, tap, tap. Because remember, you want the ink on the surface of the raised detail. You don't want it in the red rubber or along the edges of the red rubber. See, I've got a little bit there. And if I were to stamp this and rock it, well, I would make a hot mess. But I could get this, this ink here on my paper as well. So just a gentle tap, tap, tap to pick up your glue, oh my goodness, to pick up your ink. And then I'm going to use my grid paper and the label to see how that is lining up. Of course, this is a pretty forgiving greeting. The label seems to have guided me just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on here. I'll pull my card back up so you guys can see what we're working on. Put this on the grid paper. And I did check that this grid paper is still available on the clearance rack. So great. Woo-hoo. Well done. Let me find the stamp cleaner. And remember, I shared last week Tony's tip for dabbing that off before you take it to your chamois. And then that will keep less ink on your chamois to transfer over to you, right? Well, I just opened my mouth to tell you what we were going to do next week, and I forgot what I settled on. I'm going to have to go back and look again. All right, so that is that stamped. Now we're going to stamp the leafy image around on our designer series paper. And just kind of go, I want some off the edge. Just kind of fill this up a little bit. And just fill that in. Okay, I think that is just fine. So I'll put this away. That's the soft succulent ink. There we go, just dabbing that off. My team meeting is tonight. and pretty excited to recognize my team for their February achievements. We had quite a few people join our team that took advantage of the celebration special and got a mini machine basically half off. It's a huge value. Put that over there. I bought a Lazy Susan today to keep on one corner of my desk. I'm thinking that'll help, I don't know, keep this a little more neat and tidy. Oh, I'm going to need that. I spoke about neat and tidy and something just flew off my desk. A little sheet of dimensionals. And yep, I used my grid paper to help line this up a bit. There's that. And then we've got a lovely dove image. Maybe we'll just add the dove up in the corner. What do you all think? Kind of quiet out there today. So it's spring break here. Not very spring. In fact, it was, I sent a message to some of my friends this morning and said, small frozen things are falling from the sky. And I was not terribly excited about that. If it's gonna be cold, then go ahead, give us a big snow. Um, just to be cold, I'm not a fan of that. Um, let's see, what else can I tell? Oh, last night my father-in-law was recognized for his contribution to the school system in their area in Missouri and for his career. And it was quite special. Hardin and Greg were able to attend, and they'll be home tonight. Robin is quite confused. One, we're not getting in the Jeep and going somewhere every morning. And, his boy isn't here. So he's kind of wondering what's going on there. He will be glad to see them tonight. I will be glad to see them tonight. All right, I am going to cut this. If you are a customer who orders product from me, and you have ordered in the last 6 months or so, I will be sending you a catalog in the mail. Actually, I'll have Stampin' Up! Send you a catalog in the mail. I finalize that list at the end of March, and then the catalogs go out in April. And so if you haven't placed an order and you don't have a demonstrator and need a catalog, please let me know so that I can get you included. Catalogs are quite pricey to mail, but it's nice to have that printed catalog, right? We have all those fun new products that are available online that aren't going to appear in print anywhere. Those fun rhinos are going to show up tomorrow. Actually, I sent them ahead. They're going to be at the cottage when I get there. Oh. As well as the dies that they work like the Stitched with Whimsy dies, and they give an outline shape. I can't think of the name of them. So anyway, I actually thought today I might give you a little tour of my website and show you where to find class registration and such. So, hello, Joyce. But you can buy past tutorials on my website. You can register for classes on my website. And we have quite a few right now, or coming up too. Um, there's a fundraiser the 1st of April. We're going to make that little wreath kit. We're going to make it the version of it that my friend Laura Anderson designed. And so it's an in-person class. And I know, Joyce, you had asked me about how to participate long distance. And I haven't quite wrapped my head around that yet, but I'm working on it. And I think actually I should not have put that down yet because I'd like my ribbon to be a little more over here like it is in this one. So what do you do when that happens? Okay, that is tearing my paper a little bit, but it's going to go down pretty much right back in the place that it was. So that's okay. I need that to turn loose a little bit. So I should have put the label down before I put the whole thing on the card, and then I would have seen that it was not over as far as I wanted. And this piece is quite ravelly. Ravelly, is that a word? Okay, let's see if that's, I think that's better. And no, it's not perfectly straight, but that's okay because all kinds of things are going to distract us from that. I'm going to cut another length to make my bow. So I guess I will add my cards that I'm making to the church stockpile, and then we'll be pretty close. We had 10 people working weekend before last, and we made 26 Easter cards. So I thought that was pretty impressive for our group. And we have 30 or so families in the parish. So this ribbon is has a mind of its own. It is a toddler. Just trying to get my fingers in there to. Okay. Sometimes turn your turn this kind of upside down, and for some reason, sometimes that helps the ribbon end up the way you want it to. All right. You're chewing into my time here, card. I've got lots of things I want to do. Any word? You're right, Joyce. We like to make up words. Things become verbs that weren't meant to be. Okay with that. And then we have our two little. Now these are punched from the shimmer. Can you see that? Did you catch the shimmer in that? There you can kind of see the shimmer. It's really soft. There's no real texture to it at all. But that little sheet of dimensionals that went flying were the minis that I need. But here's another sheet. Because they're almost too wide for this. Then I can put a little bit of glue on that one. I made a change a couple of weeks ago to the schedule of the emails for the blog post to go out. And so if you did I put that on the wrong side? I did. Oh, guys. Okay. I am definitely challenged today. Um, if you subscribe to the blog post emails, you're no longer getting 2 a week. I blog twice a week, but you are going to get 1 email with both blog posts. And that way, I'm not blowing up your email quite so often. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. And now this little guy, actually, yeah, I think I kind of like it to lay right there. I'll just, come on. There we go. So the Wreath Project is a fundraiser to benefit the Foundation Fighting Blindness. It is the charity that Hope and I, with Susan Fries, started raising funds for a few years ago. And I need some. I have 3 packages of the in color opal rounds, and I just love them. I didn't use them for a long time, and then I got them with a class kit I think that Rhonda Wade put together, and now I use them all the time. Stick. All right, so that is card number 1, and we've added the little dove on the inside. And then you could also, decorate your envelopes. We did that last week, remember? Put that right there. Now, for this card, this is one that my church, we did this design with the church group. Thank you, Joyce, as I try to die over here. All right, so for this one, I got out the Stamparatus and taught them how to use it. So you probably are well versed in this by now, but what I did, so this is a red rubber stamp. I just need the Stamparatus and then a piece of the small grid paper. Got 1 magnet to hold it in place. I stamped this on my grid paper and then decided how the frame needed to line up to put the image where I wanted it on my die cut label. Now the thing with deckled rectangle is that it's not perfect, so or not perfectly symmetrical, so you may have to turn that a couple of times to get it where you need to get it. I put a stamp set under that plate to give me a good surface for inking up the stamp. And then I'm going to ink this up in basic gray. I love the combination of basic gray and soft seafoam. I think that's really pretty. Oh, guys, I didn't get to show you this last week. Check this out. My friend made this. Whew, is that not the bomb? So it helps me give even pressure. I'm not mashing down on anything. But it's like an air hockey handle, paddle, I don't know what to call it. But yeah, she made this and painted it. So, and then attached one of the felt like furniture pads to it. And it's just awesome. So you can order the air hockey paddle, I don't know what to call it, the air hockey doohickey from Amazon, or if you're feeling kind of handy, then you can certainly make it like Kathy did. I know, it's so cool. I forgot now where I saw that idea. Someone that had had some wrist issues recently shared that with us, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's really kind of brilliant. All right, then on this piece, we're going to stamp in basic gray as well, and we're going to do He is Risen. I just love Easter. And I want a different size block. So Joyce, you missed my little leprechaun look. So you'll have to, I'll have to take a photo. I have to share a photo of it. As it is, it's a look. And keep spinning, keep spinning. I need, where are you? Here you are. Okay, then I'm going to grab the soft sea foam and we're going to stamp that little greenery around. So I'll even take this off the block. I think this is a C block, and I'm going to put it back on the D. All right, the soft sea foam. I guess I forgot to show. So this is the card that we're making this time. So we're going to add a little piece here. And you'll notice I did the He is Risen first, and then I stamped the soft sea foam on top of it. But to look at this, you would think that I stamped the soft sea foam first and the basic gray on top of it. So it really doesn't matter. Yes, I am kind of fond of a little St. Patrick's Day fun. My great grandmother's birthday um, is March 17th. So I don't even know if I knew that when she was alive. That kind of makes me sad. And I promised last week I would do the math on how old she would be, and I failed to remember to do that. So I'm just going to stamp some of this little greenery all around, being sure that I go in different directions and that I am sometimes off the paper. And I'm getting kind of some uneven images here. I'm thinking that maybe this little thing needs to be re-inked. I kind of wish that was going to be hidden, but it's not. So I wasn't paying a lot of attention. So it's all right. It's not the end of the world. All right, so I need some seam binding. And even for this, even though I'm not tying a bow, I'm still going to do it in two parts because I'm just not that good with it. So I run a little bit of tape along the back and I tuck this little guy under here. And I put this flat down. If you want to pop it up on dimensionals, of course you can. And maybe I can get this hidden a little bit. I am doing it a little off center because I'm going to have this here. And dimensionals again. These are not, the backs are not peeling off of my sheet. They must have been around for a while. Now, because I'm kind of going to be straddling the ribbon, I am being careful to have one high and then one low. And then I might even put one down here on the end. And you want your dimensionals to stick to the, I should do it right side up, the paper and not the ribbon. That should be good. And then we'll need a second piece to tie that knot. Set you there for a second. I know my stomach wants to be growly. And just trim that a little bit. Oh, I forgot the inside. I did stamp on the inside of this one. So again, it doesn't matter whether you do the seafoam first or the basic gray. That they will give the illusion of the seafoam being on top. And we'll just stamp that down right on top. Straight down, straight up. And that's lovely. And there you have it. There is card number 2. Didn't do any bling on it other than the ribbon. Get that out of the way. And then we are on to card number 3. So for card number 3, we have our 6 little pieces of DSP, and we have a piece of white for the inside, a piece for the outside, and then we have our little circle where we are going to stamp our greeting. So we're going to stamp in Night of Navy. Okay, remember, this is the color that when I open, I get it everywhere. Everybody has a color that presents problems for them. Night of Navy is mine. I don't know what's special about it, but something is, because it gets on me like nothing else. All right, heat is risen. We can put that away. Okay, so for our layer here, this is basically, so these are 1 1/4 inch squares. So they're basically going to go a quarter. Going to put this on my grid paper and come in a quarter and down a quarter. Then there'll be a quarter between them. Then there'll be a quarter between them, 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 and them. Of course, you can arrange them however you want to. So I'm just going to set these aside here while I line them up. And yep, I do tend to get a ruler out for this. And you know, sometimes I even do something like this, and I put a tiny bit of adhesive down to hold that layer on the grid paper while I do this. And you could do that with washi tape or any number of options. Okay, so I need to come down a quarter, and then this is a quarter, so this should be the right spot for this one. And I'll come, nope, clearly not. All right, so using my grid paper, my ruler, I'm going to put that one right there, and then this one right there, and then I'll come down. So there is my quarter between, and a half, an inch and a quarter. So this should be the row for the next two. I'll put a little adhesive on them. And yes, I did bump that when I was there. And there, and then this one should be the line down here for the last one. And of course, it is perfectly fine. It's not, does not have to be perfect. In spite of the way I went around that, it doesn't have to be perfect. Here is this. I've got this lovely pool. Thank you so much, Alice. I appreciate the love and the sharing. And I'm going to cut a piece here. My channel is steadily growing, and I know that that is because of your efforts, and I am very appreciative. Love meeting new friends. Oh my gosh, now pick up, people. And I'm going to put this pretty much at the bottom of that. And then I put this flat to my card as well. Opted not to pop it up. And okay, there's the end of my tape. So we'll switch to glue down here. And here's my card base. And I need to burnish that a little bit so it'll lie a little flatter. It has been so windy here the last week, 2 weeks, that I've had such a hard time photographing cards because they keep blowing off of the porch. They blow over, they blow off. I'm chasing them everywhere. And see. That looks, whoops, you slid. Okay, I think that's okay there. And we'll put this on with dimensionals. We'll tie a little bow. And then, and hopefully I did that so that it, oh no, I need to, I didn't pay attention, which means I pretty much got that. So it's going to hit right on the ribbon. So I put a third one down, not because it needs it, but just so I can avoid the ribbon and actually stick this to the cardstock. And Thank you so much. They are, I've got one here that was designed by Rhonda Wade, and oh, I can't remember who the others are. I love to case Mary Nabe. She's a friend and I love her style. There is card number 3, right? So, how are we doing on time? 45 minutes. Oops, I didn't put the inside piece in. Let's do that. Would it be helpful for me to show you my website or not? I guess if it's not, you could always drop off. Um, but if you'd like to see where to find my classes and tutorials, I'd be happy to give you that little tour. And I made those white pieces the same size so that there'd be no confusion between the inside and the outside. And I do that a fair bit. Here are our cards for today. I'll cover up my little stamping down there. So there are the 3 cards. All right, I think I'll take just a minute and walk over, see if I can get to my website, and I'll show you where things live. Oh my gosh, I've forgotten which. I think it's this one. All right, let's see. Okay, so you should be looking at my website, and whoops, dadgum. Okay, so across the top you have home, classes, calendar, oh, wait, card club, calendar, shop, the email newsletter, and the blog, about me and join. And that's just because of the way I've got this window set up that you're looking at it. But I wanted to come to classes. Okay, I can't believe I'm having this issue. I can't tell where anything has gone. If I click on it there. Okay, it did open. Okay, so card classes. This is where you'll see information about each class, if it has a specific date. This is the Wreath project, and then Card Club. And you can see that these are links. You can actually click on them, and you can register. You can get more information, and anything that is current is here with details when you click on it. Like you can click today to read more about the weekly class to go. I think I'm being impatient and clicking multiple times. It's opening. And you get a little description over here. Tells you how to get it and the supplies that you need in order to make the cards the way that I made them. And we can go back. And you can see you can go to Card Club or to the Queen Bee, either one, and get more information about them. Usually on your computer screen, this menu is all across the top. It's not broken into 2 rows like it is here. That's just because I've got multiple windows open and I had to shrink this down a little bit. If you want to shop, you can, there's a shop Stampin' Up. Will take you to my Stampin' Up shop. You can look at tutorials or that paper share I should have already removed and I haven't. But you can go to the tutorials. And this area is not, it is incomplete. I have many more tutorials to add, but the tutorials are available for purchase for past classes to go or past product-based classes as well. So you can see them, and they are in alphabetical order. And there are multiple pages that you can move on that way. And my team has access to most of those tutorials for free. They have a special coupon code that they can use. All right, now let's see if I can get back to me. I kind of did. Okay. See if I can make this a big window. Okay, there, that's better. It's a crazy looking screen sometimes. Thank you so much for being here today and making cards with me. I hope that you love them. And if you would like to get the class to go, then you can do that with an online purchase in my store. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Um, you can contact me. I think my email appears in many places, but if not, it's just hello@michellesalcho.com. The hardest part about that is remembering that Michelle just has one L. So have a very blessed week, everybody, and I will see you again. Um, I'll see you again next week. All right, take care. Bye bye.